All right. Here we are again. Let's hope that this time it works. Is it working? Do we have sound? Okay, scratch the mic. Never doing that again. Sometimes it's just really nice having the mic because it sounds way better than the computer when I listen back and I'm just like, this sounds terrible. Anyways, okay, cool. I'm really glad we're back on track here. I'm not really super tech savvy when it comes to all these added features on YouTube. You'd think I'd know all that by now, but I just don't. Okay. Hi. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, taking the time to connect, be here, and just chill with me for a little bit of time. I think it's not going to be as long as the last time, but who knows? Maybe we'll get carried away with conversation and just talking. It feels good to be doing the live again and tapping into some gratitude and just thoughts on gratitude today, because I think last time we did a live, it was very much like what the struggle is and what's hard and what's difficult and ways that I've been kind of coping and getting through a little bit, and just sharing authentically about how everything has been going. So I thought I would tap into also what is very present in my life right now, which is gratitude. And a big reason for that is focusing on gratitude for myself and Justin. And then also Azalea has been really in a space of needing to kind of learn more about that. So that's been really cool. And I'm excited to dive into my notes and stuff that I've made. Betty, how was Sunday? The herbal perfume workshop was awesome sauce. I had a blast. I had a good reality check and just a lot of realizations of the future direction of Moonflower Child. And I'm excited to be doing more in-person events. It feels really good to just bring community together and see people in person and connect and share the knowledge of herbal perfumes and essential oils that I have and all the kind of body products and self-care goods that I've made in the past. So yeah, thanks for asking. That's awesome that you remembered. Okay, I want to dive into it, and I'll let you just ask questions as you want, and I kind of will do a little Q&A, I guess, at the end if you have questions or as I go. But I wanted to kind of chat through all of this that I got going on my Notion. Because today and over the last couple of weeks, I've really been focusing on gratitude. So we all know what gratitude means, obviously, but gratitude is just such a powerful tool that can just really help us to tune into being grateful and appreciating the very present moment that we have in our lives, and just loving everything that we have, from our health to our belongings to where we live to our community and all the things that come with that. There's so much that's just always changing and shifting, and life even is temporary and constantly changing. And so it's just really important for me at least, to focus in on being here and grateful for where I am. And in our last chat, I think we talked a lot about the house and the situation with the house and potentially selling the house and all that kind of stuff. There's still so many unknowns when it comes to that, so I won't kind of dive too much further into that, just because I still don't really know what's happening. So our focus is mostly just to be super present here and being grateful for the life and the routines and the structure that we have in our life right now, which is so different than what it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And who we are today is not who we were then, and who we are in 2 years from now is not going to be who we are today. So I know that the feeling of everything being temporary temporary is just so hard sometimes for me to accept. It's like a challenge. And last night, Justin and I had a really long conversation that we're just always like fighting being still and like always wanting to go to the next thing. And this concept of the grass is greener, I think I've talked about that so many times before, of just like always craving something more or something different. And we're just always fighting being where we are. And I don't know how many of you have read the book Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. He just did a really awesome live like presentation with a bunch of other wellness and spiritual speakers about the art of living. And he tapped in a little bit about his Green Lights book. It's a really awesome book. If you've never read it, you should definitely read it. We have it on Audible, and I reminded Justin of it last night, and so he started reading it again today, or listening to it again today. But we talked a bit about this concept of the green light, the yellow light, and the red light, that in life you have a series of, you could see them as doors, or you could see them as green lights, where the doors are open and you can go through. But sometimes we like force ourselves to, this is just like us, we like force ourselves to be at a yellow light. We like encourage being at a yellow light and like going down a path that isn't necessarily the easiest path with the green light, and we're like making it harder to go that way, that potentially it could turn into a red light and like a roadblock, where we're just in this place where it doesn't feel right. We're not in alignment, and we're just kind of shifting and wanting to go in a different direction again. And it feels like we're not on our path, and we're not following the opportunity where it's a green light and clear to go in that kind of direction and route. So we were talking a bit about that, and we just feel ourselves constantly fighting the opportunity that's the clearest and easiest and simplest, because it might not be entirely what we thought we wanted or what we want. Anyway, so it's this concept, I guess, of like controlling the outcome, wanting to like choose what we're doing with our lives and decide the direction that we're going, and controlling that. And I've been really trying to just remind myself of something I learned like over a decade ago. Well, I guess it's about a decade ago now. When I was in Hawaii, a very, very lovely human that I met along the way called Tom. He still is an older gentleman. He lives with his partner, Loretta, and they are the ones that adopted Moses, the dog that I had in Hawaii. But he was just always reminding me about how plans are more like guidelines, and that you can create these plans and set these goals and strive to achieve them. But the way that you get there is never going to be the way that you thought that you would get there. So like you could choose to make a plan, but there's going to be all these different transitions that happen through life that will get you there in ways that you never could have imagined, because you can't actually control every circumstance that surrounds you. You can only control what you do and what you think. Anyways, so we've been thinking a lot about just having the gratitude and the concept of like what is fulfilling us now. And obviously what fulfills us now is having a home base, having a home that we can work on when we want to work on it, having community and activities and things that we're doing that are bringing us joy presently, which is really awesome. It's comforting in a way to have that kind of fulfillment when you're grateful for just the little things in life. I know that you can find like attachment, obviously, in these things, like if they're tangible, especially like attachment in the stuff that we have around us, and trying to just be grateful for it now, and knowing that we're going to be moving out of the house, and we see this house not as our forever home, but more as like the investment. I've been really just like looking around and like feeling the gratitude I have for like where my hats are hung up, and like how beautiful it is that we've created this arrangement in that way, or the being able to display like my grandma's sewing machine on the mantelpiece, and like having a bigger wardrobe for clothing and space to move, and like space within the house to have privacy from each other when we need it, and like the bookshelf on the corner there with all the books, ready to go whenever we want to read them, we can. And just finding the fulfillment and like gratitude and just like being thankful to have everything the way that we have it now, and just like every day waking up and being grateful like to have these things, because then I'm able to like feel fulfilled by the gratitude I had for those items when it comes to like releasing them and not feeling overly attached to them. So like I foresee in the future being more able to kind of let go of belongings and not feeling so attached to stuff. So that feels really good, because I know sometimes retail therapy is so fulfilling for so many of us. Like getting a new bunch of clothes can really like help us have that extra boost of confidence that we need, or buying, a new piece of furniture, or whatever it is that we're buying, new jewelry, anything like that. Obviously, retail therapy can be really rewarding in the moment, but I've been really trying to dig deeper and find like the joy in like having enough and being present with all the items that we have and feeling fulfilled and grateful for what is already here. And that's helping me to kind of not feel this like need to fill a void that isn't really going to be filled by stuff. So that feels really good to kind of be honing in on that, because when you have a house, you start acquiring stuff, and that's not bad for many of us, but for so many of us, there's a deeper struggle of having just like so much of a deep attachment to stuff. And this is hilarious. Me and Justin have been watching the Hoarder TV show like on occasion the last like month. And these people have really, really deep emotional difficulties with a variety of things, and in exchange, they're holding on to tangible belongings and stuff, and putting value in stuff rather than value in connection with people and their existence and enjoyment in activities and things that they can do. So like having a clear boundary with yourself of like, this is stuff and it's my stuff, but like not having so much stuff that it's overwhelming your mind and clouding your space and kind of feeling more like a burden. So releasing that attachment to stuff allows me to feel gratitude for what I have now, so that I don't feel a need for more stuff. Anyways, I thought it was interesting that we're like diving into that hoarding show. I kind of enjoy those types of reality TV shows. They're very insightful, and you can learn a lot about, the psychology of owning belongings and how people choose to live. And it's just insightful, I feel like, to kind of have new perspectives and guidance in how you can better, live your life to not fill voids and have faults and stuff like that. Anyways, Azalea. My note on Azalea is that she's at an age where objects and things really do bring her joy. And our roommate Brooke recently moved out, and so she's going to be moving back into her original bedroom. And I know it's kind of complicated the way we had it all set up. Like she had her bedroom and then she moved into this other room, and then Brooke moved into the finished room. And the reason for that is because we needed to close the doorway in the downstairs bedrooms. And we thought Brooke was going to be living with us for like a year or something. And so we were going to be working on the downstairs rooms to rent to people that maybe we didn't necessarily know as like roommates, or people who were like secondary to our initial friend group. So we wanted someone who was closer to us, that we felt comfortable with living upstairs with us. But the room that Azalea is in now, the green room, it like connects to our bedroom. And we didn't want Brooke to be in the room that connects to our bedroom, which is why we moved Azalea into that room. Anyways, she has an attachment to things like her bed and her kitchen and her dollhouse. And it's totally normal. And I'm not saying that I want to like for her to learn and understand immediately, because it's a part of the journey of life and the process and everything. But it's been a really good teaching opportunity to share, like, that we will be going back into the red pepper for like a big adventure, hopefully. And when that time comes, like, we'll only be taking a certain amount of stuff and we won't be taking so much stuff, and she'll have to be selective about what she wants with her. And to just better understand what it means to have all these things here now, and just be grateful that she has all these things, because then she focuses on like, oh my God, but then I won't have this stuff. And so it's nice to remind her that, you know, we will have these things because we have them now. So make the most of it while you have it now. And yeah, it's just been interesting to teach her about gratitude. There's a little story that Justin came home with. Azalea was kind of in a really bummed out, sad mood. She had got a Kinder egg and they have that little toy inside. And I guess she had left a portion of the toy in the buggy at the store that they were at. And they went to go and look. I think they were getting new clothes, new leggings, because she's growing so much right now. Anyways, they went to go and get stuff, and then when they came back, the buggy was gone. And so she was really distraught that like the portion of her toy had gone missing. But Justin was trying to instill gratitude for the part of the toy that she did still have, and to just teach her that, okay, we don't have that anymore, and it's going to be okay because we have this, and to be grateful for this even though we don't have that anymore. And it goes for food as well. You know, teaching her like to be grateful for the food that she has. And sometimes she feels that it's not enough food on her plate, but we've been teaching her to kind of like be grateful for the food that's on her plate now, to finish it and feel fulfilled, like full and nourished in her body. And then if she wants more, to tune in and like see how her body feels before asking for more. And that's also like a whole nother topic that I was thinking about getting into next month, maybe, about intuitive eating, and just like really tuning into yourself and like expressing gratitude for the nourishment and the food that we have now before getting into overeating and kind of like making your body feel overfull and just not good. So yeah, just teaching her to be just really grateful for what we have now and the life that we live now. So that's been really fun to see us in our life, like needing to find a deeper connection with gratitude and having, you know, just more thankful thoughts, and teaching that to Azalea where she is in her life as well. And that's kind of like in an alignment together. So it's really cool that we get to share that, all of us as a family, where we are in our like life journey. So when we like really recognize that things are impermanent, it's just an easier way for us to appreciate what we have now, because it won't be here anymore in the future. And it just forces us to not take things for granted and to make the most of the time that we have with the life that we're living now. Because like I said in this video earlier, like who I am now is not who I was 2 years ago. And same with Azalea and Justin. And like the life that we're living now is very different than the life that we were living in the past. And it's always changing. Like it'll keep changing. Like in 10 years from now, I have no idea where we're going to be. Like we haven't really thought too far in the future, but like if I keep focusing on what I don't have, then I can't appreciate what I do have. So yeah, we've just been really tuning into being present and grounded here with this routine and all that stuff. So with our lives being temporary, even breathing is temporary, and the act of breathing is only for our existence. And so I've been tuning into my breath and my meditation. You guys all know I've been really tapping into that, and it feels really, really good. I just had a deeper appreciation for breathing, and my breath like shortness has definitely slowed. I have moments of like anxiousness, and I definitely feel that that's where it comes from when we are having heavy topics about money and finances. the plan, the future, and this space of being in so much unknown and uncertainty, my breath tends to get really like abrupt and short. It's definitely better since you last saw me, for sure. I want to just take a minute, not even a minute. I literally just want to take a deep breath in with you guys and do a deep breath out, because I feel like I have just like came out of bed and was go mode as I was up really late last night and was tired this morning. And anyways, let's just everybody take a deep breath in and deep breath out. I'm going to keep doing my notes, but I figured I'd answer some questions real quick. Thanks everybody for joining. I'm just glad to have you here. Yeah. The Minimalist. I've seen that movie. It's a really good movie, the documentary. There's a lot of really good documentaries right now on YouTube. Yeah, there's just a lot of really inspiring things that you could learn about over there on that documentary like folder, I guess, of YouTube. Hi everyone, big love. Thank you just for coming here. I'm glad to have you here. Okay. And thanks for all the continued support with the YouTube channel. Sometimes I still feel like it was a mistake to change the channel name, but then I just have to keep grinding. And I only feel like it was a mistake because I don't want the YouTube algorithm to be like, biting me in the butt. But there's only so much I can do to continue moving forward and just simply create what I want to create and share it. And, if you guys are enjoying it, then that's what matters. So, okay. I don't have like a specific gratitude journal like on its own, but I add gratitude affirmations in my journal that I have. And I actually have it here because I was doing an audio recording for an upcoming video of like an entry that I wrote. I tend to just like journal and then we'll write something that I'm grateful for. And I try to consider taking the time each day or before I sit down and journal to just write like a few things that I'm grateful for. And so I thought I'd share some with you and just kind of like express the things that I'm grateful for so that you can kind of see what has value and what's important to me, because I'm always inspired to hear what people are grateful for. It kind of puts things into perspective a little bit. So things that I'm grateful for is beautiful spring weather. I'm so tired of that winter weather. So I'm so grateful that the spring weather is kind of like, it's a little chilly today, but the sun shining has been just like the most incredible thing. I'm just grateful for the sun. I'm grateful for a neighborhood to walk Odin around. It's definitely transforming and could use still some love, but I really do enjoy the flowers and the gardens and admiring the old houses and thinking about all the lives that have lived here before in the past. And yeah, I'm grateful for my family, obviously, for fun evenings together and playing Monopoly Deal, which if you don't know that game, you should totally get it. It's like Monopoly, but Monopoly Deal chords. It's like a chord version of Monopoly. And it doesn't last as long and it's kind of the same concept. It's a lot of fun. But family dinners have been really amazing. We've been baking breads and muffins and enjoying good food and things like that. And I'm grateful for really beautiful, long-winded conversations with Justin in the evenings, digging deep into like wounds and trauma from our past, and just like having open-hearted, wholesome conversations that are digging deep into who we are as people and really being present with each other and prioritizing how much we love each other. Is just like so beautiful to slow down and really make that something that we want to do on a regular basis, and I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful for the house that we own, to be renovating it and working on it, even though it's slow and steady progress. Like, it's really amazing to be working on this house, and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for a roof over our heads and the security of having a home. I'm grateful for the opportunity that YouTube gave us, for all of you in this community that we created together, and just creating videos and having that be a big part of my work. Working with the camera and things like that. I'm grateful for my real community here in North Carolina that I get to see face to face on a regular basis, and go to their life happenings and support them and show love. The other day, we went over to a friend's house and helped her with some home projects that she really needed help with. Cleaning her fridge, like deep clean, and taking care of some just like maintenance that hadn't been done. And it feels really fulfilling to help others. And I'm really grateful that we prioritize that in our life, because giving back is just something that feels so good. And it just brought me so much joy. Like, I genuinely really enjoyed deep cleaning a really disgusting fridge because I knew that the reward was going to be so fulfilling for who we were doing it for. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for making art. I'm grateful for good food. I'm grateful for having a lake nearby our home. So many things I'm grateful for. I really could go on and on and on, but I just, wanted to give you some ideas and inspiration of what my gratitude looks like from time to time. That was just like off the top of my head this morning. It really could be anything, like grateful for a month of clear skin, grateful for activities and things to do in your local area, grateful for supporting a friend or sharing a good meal together. And when we start focusing on the things that are like more wholesome and giving us a more positive aspect of our life, like when we're really focusing on those things, it just makes our lives so much more beautiful, and it allows our mindset to shift from the things that we're just like not fulfilled by to the things that we are fulfilled by, the things that we do enjoy, the things that we want more of, the things that we have already, and the things that bring us joy. Just, it helps to kind of like round out our day with feeling grateful for what we've created in the life that we have now. And when we start really tuning into that, we just find more joy in our life. I definitely feel like there's been less stress, and I've been like not focusing on the things that I'm overwhelmed by, but the things that I am fulfilled by and the things that I enjoy about my day to day and what I like spending my time on. I've been stopping to fight with this like reality that I'm living now, and just accepting it and allowing that acceptance to fuel my presence with my family, and in turn the joy that I'm experiencing. I get really frustrated sometimes on days when Azalea really wants to do make believe like all day every day, and I was really burnt out, and I find that I get really overwhelmed and frustrated and all those kind of negative feelings of make believe when my mind is unclear and hazy, and I'm not grateful for being where we are and having the opportunity to engage with Azalea at the place that she is in her life in this moment. And then the other day I was playing with her make believe, and I was just like, oh my God, totally opposite mindset from feeling burnt out of constantly playing dollies to this is amazing. She has the best toys ever. This is hilarious. My little like German accent for this like owl with a unicorn horn, and like, the story that we created together of like, there's a bad guy and we had to put him in her little jewelry box, and that was a party. And it was, that sounds like a really weird story, but to us it made total sense. And it was like this whole adventure that we created together, and we made a map and everything, and it was just like the most perfect little memory that I'll have, and hopefully she'll have, of like the times that we played make believe together in her bedroom in this house. And it's just really beautiful to create those moments together. And so I'm just grateful that I'm stopping to fight the reality that I'm living in now, and finding more peace in the routine and the rhythm and the life that we have, because I'm finding more joy. And the feeling of doubt to live this full life is just going to always be lurking wherever we go, and it's going to follow us no matter whether we're living in a house or in the bus or in some other country. Wherever we go, this feeling of not being fulfilled by the life that we're living now is going to follow us everywhere. And it's like this, boogeyman lurking in the back. And so just knowing that he's always going to be there, I'm choosing not to acknowledge it, and choosing the more bright, wholesome mindset of being grateful for the life that I have now. I always try and remind myself of the story I heard when I was back in Hawaii, of people who chose to move to Hawaii because they thought that living there would bring them this sense of fulfillment and joy and complete their ideal life, dream life, vision, goal, whatever it is, that was going to make everything amazing, island life, it's beautiful and everything. But this is also information from like 10 years ago, but I heard that the suicide rate was quite high because the expectation of going there, that all your problems were going to go away because you'd be in this incredible place, is not true. Because that boogeyman, that feeling, it's always going to be lurking, and you have to intentionally choose not to give it the attention that it doesn't deserve, and focus on the attention of what does deserve your love and your passion and your joy, all the things that come with living a positive life, and the gratitude for the life that we have. So with the research that's out there, being grateful is just shown to have, better impact on our well-being, and increase more positive emotions, and our physical health can be even better. And I'm really curious, like, what your guys's like gratitude is for, and if you have things off the top of your head that you're grateful for, pop them in the comments. I don't know where it shows up for you, but pop them in the comments of the chat. I'd love to read them and just hear what you guys are grateful for. It's always really rewarding, I feel like, to share gratitude and cultivate more gratitude by expressing gratitude. It's not something that people do very often, and I think it's important to. So I would love to hear what you guys are grateful for. Thank you for all your love, you guys. I appreciate you guys being so supportive. It really means a lot. So when you take the time to express gratitude to other people who have made a difference in your life, it's very heartwarming. When you say kind things or offer a thoughtful gesture, it's just a really good feeling. It feels magical, and I never have any expectation of anything back from my customers for Moonflower Child, but just recently had a couple of my customers send me gifts in exchange for the product that they purchased. And honestly, it's just really heartwarming to have so many people who are so supportive and caring and loving, and for them to, take the time to express that gratitude in a gift is, yeah, it's really, really beautiful. And I'm so grateful to have the most amazing customers for my business. That's a really cool thing to have, and that many people would only dream of. So I'm grateful if any of you who are on the live right now who are customers of Moonflower Child. It's like really awesome that you have supported me over the years. Yeah, I think it's important to let people know that you're appreciated. And when someone creates an impact on your life, it's really helpful to verbalize and express that, that person has made an impact on your life, because people remember how others make them feel. People remember that, and feeling and mindset is a big part of who we become. I definitely believe that has a strong impact on how the world could transform into a better place, as if we all had a much healthier, positive, generous, giving, grateful type of mindset. So yeah, I think also hearing what other people are grateful for, like I said, helps you kind of put your life into perspective and realize what you could be grateful for. For those that are simply grateful for like the bare minimum of having clean water to drink, that is incredible, that they're grateful for having clean water when I can just run a tap here and mindlessly fill up my cup and drink it. I feel that when I hear someone is grateful for something as important and simple as clean water, that I can find more gratitude for filling my water cup from my fridge or from my tap or wherever I get my water. Like, just being grateful for that, and realizing that there are people who don't have access to that. It helps me to kind of open my eyes to feeling that there's so much abundance in the life that I have, that I should be more grateful for everything that I have already as it is, and for everything that's to come. I'm just want to be more consistent with my appreciation and awareness of my gratitude. And it's a good way to just like always remember that even through the difficult times, there's going to be something that you could be grateful for. When we were really struggling financially or in our relationship, there's always something that we could have seen as something to be grateful for, instead of focusing on the hardship and the difficult times. Like, if we start shifting our mindset into a space of finding like gratitude for what's already good, we could start moving what is bad into that space of being good. It helps for me to work through those cloudy days when I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just confused. What's my purpose? Like, let's just focus on the purpose to simply live and be grateful for the moments that we get to experience and the opportunity to live, because that's the important part, is being grateful really for life, whatever this is, just to have gratitude for it, instead of focusing on everything that isn't good in our life. Let's focus on the things that are good. I'm grateful, for so much opportunity. I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for Odin. I'm grateful um, just so many things. And it's important to consistently remind yourself of the things that you're grateful for. Because when you start to acknowledge the things that you're grateful for, it kind of helps, at least for me, to process through some difficult feelings. When we can really recognize where the light is and what light we already have in our life, we start focusing more on that rather than what is not lit. It helps to maintain this sense of balance and perspective, and just cultivate more resilience in the face of this adversity that you might be experiencing when it is really difficult in your life. So I think it's important to just take a moment each day, whether it's in the morning, in the evening, while you're on the subway or driving to work or walking your dog or doing yoga, whatever it is that you do in your day, to just like reflect on something that you're grateful for. Maybe it's your new yoga pants, or I don't know, it literally could be anything. Just like even practicing more gratitude each and every day um, is a really, really powerful exercise to incorporate into your life. And if you write it down, say it out loud, share it with your partner, share something about your partner, it can transform how you see your life and the outlook that you have on your own life. When we start embracing the gratitude that is available to us, we can really learn to appreciate the beauty and the richness of the life that we live, even when we face this impermanence of life that's going to be gone before we know it. So being grateful for the opportunity of it now is something really special. One of the documentaries I was watching, it had that free solo climber. Anyways, it was of this older gentleman who did this like science-based project research. Sorry about Odin. He's really getting busy on his bone, but he was wanting to climb and hike a very high up mountain somewhere in South America. I forget where exactly, to do research because it was the only place in the entire world where a certain animal lived. Turns out he was a bit too old to do the whole adventure and get to the top, but he was walking through the forest, and this man was like, I think he's still alive, but he's like maybe in his 70s or his 80s, and he's just walking through, and he stopped on his way to the summit and just reflected on the life that he's lived and expressed gratitude for how much he loves being in nature, how much he's got a passion for insects, and how much he really just like thinks that the world and nature and trees and leaves and the jungles and everything is like so beautiful. And he just expressed gratitude for that and started like kind of tearing up, and it was really beautiful to watch. And I think about that often because I don't want to go through life and not be grateful for everything in every moment leading up to when it all ends. Because if I get to the end of my life and I haven't expressed gratitude all throughout, then I'll be at the end of my life and wished I had done that and focused more on that. And then I don't want to feel unfulfilled by the amount of gratitude for everything that I experienced in my life. Like I want to leave the world feeling full and like I experienced everything I needed to because I was so grateful for each and every moment that I had the opportunity to. So I'm choosing to romanticize my life now and, make doing the dishes an art and like enjoy my process and put on a podcast or listen to music or watch a YouTube video and like enjoy that because it's really cool to do it and to learn something on YouTube while I'm doing the dishes, or just maybe even focusing on the dishes instead of being stressed out and overwhelmed by that act of doing the dishes. I find myself like wanting to not see those things as a chore, but something more of a beautiful ritual that I have to do every day. And it's not a burden to me, but something that I'm grateful to have a dishwasher. And it's not going to be, forever that I'll do the dishes this way. And so I'm just focusing on being grateful to do the dishes the way I do now. And something as simple as that could make a really monotonous task much more enjoyable. And so, yeah, knowing that we might be selling the house in a couple of years and planning to move again is putting this mindset for me to be able to really tune into taking advantage of the way that life is now and just appreciating the plants that are in the front yard that we planted and watching them to root, bloom and grow and get big and fill the space. And I've been really enjoying watching Azalea at school and having fun with her friends. I know that she really loves having community and appreciates being with her age people instead of always being stuck with us. Loving our family Friday movie nights, and just releasing this guilt that we have kind of been carrying on ourselves of like, we need to work on the house every weekend and do a project, and not feeling the pressure of that, but more so like releasing the guilt, that we're hanging out with our friends and living a good life because we're slowing down again, way down, and enjoying the richness of our life the way it is now. And yeah, so I've just been really wanting to focus on what we do have and be grateful for it instead of focusing on what we don't have and constantly longing for it, which is kind of cultivating this feeling of having the void that you can never fill. Because if you can be grateful for what you have, then your cup is full. So anyways, that's all I have really on my big chat on gratitude. I still would really love to hear from more of you the things that you're grateful for. And I'm just glad to have you all here as a part of this community. And would love to know your thoughts on just these lives and if you want more of them, or yeah, I don't know. It's fun for me to tune in and do this kind of like sit down chat, but I wonder if it would be better in a more like podcast style format. The herbal perfume workshop, I'm going to be working on getting it online, so that'll be a fun way to kind of tap into creating in your own space with the knowledge that I have about self-care and essential oils and body care products, and all that kind of stuff. But thanks for sharing all the things that you guys are grateful for. And yeah, if you have any questions, shoot them my way. But that's pretty much all I had. I just wanted to chat it up. I still have my coffee from this morning. I haven't really been drinking very much of it. I think coffee has been kind of making my brain spaz out and just be like too fast. It's cool to see, or I guess hear or read, like what you guys are up to while you watch these lives. Because, yeah, I mean, I know it's a long video to sit and watch and more something that you would have in the background. So I'm just grateful to be like a part of your life while you're listening to me chat about gratitude and doing whatever it is that you need to do in your day. But I'm going to read some of them because it will be cool to kind of hear. Okay. Somebody asked, do I think I'll have dreadlocks again? Probably not. I've thought actually about chopping all my hair off again, but I think I'm just going to grow it really long and then see how I feel about it long and then just cut it short again. Dreadlocks are a lot, to maintain, especially the longer they get. And my scalp was really, really in a dark space. It was, the skin was drying out, the hair was getting heavy, it was like pulling, and it was just getting really flaky and dandruffy. And so it became not really something I wanted. That was a big reason why I ended up cutting my dreads too. So, and actually, surprisingly, I thought my dreads were not moldy and like quite healthy. Although the longer they got, they kind of got unhealthier and unhealthier. But yeah, I think pretty much all dreads you can assume are moldy. So not having that on my head has given me some clarity, and it feels good. It's like a weight lifted. Thanks for saying I communicate well, Betty. I don't know about that. My vocabulary and grammar and all that is not good. I never was good at English and maths and science. I was always more like art and sports and things like that. That was always my go-to. But I appreciate you saying I communicate well. I communicate in my own way. That's what I feel like. Grateful that you know me. That's really sweet of you. Grateful for the beautiful planet. Nature is always there waiting. I get out and enjoy it every day, often with my family. That's an awesome rhythm and routine to have. We do the same. We're trying to go out a bunch this summer, plan a family camping trip. We're going to be taking the red pepper out in a couple of weeks. I'll be filming that and sharing it with you guys. And that will be more of like a family video. We're going to the Great Wolf Lodge, which is a very American thing to be doing, but I'm excited. Our friends, Michelangelo, who were living with us, they invited us to join them for Angelo's birthday. And yeah, it's like a water park. So we've been super excited about it for like the last 2 months, and it's finally coming. So yeah, family time is huge, and getting out in nature is a really beautiful thing. Grateful for my human body and how it carries me through sickness, ups and downs, sadness, pain, happiness. Oh, you're sick currently, and I'm feeling grateful for the times when I'm feeling good. I hope you feel better, Shannon. And yeah, you take your health for granted when you're feeling good, and then when you're not feeling good, it's just like really eye-opening, like how the body is so incredible to be able to have energy to work every day, stay awake for so many hours, and do everything that we do and feel the way we do. Honestly, like it's really, really incredible. The body, it's like very magical to have the opportunity to take care of basically an avatar, like, being, being a soul in a body. I hope you feel better, and I hope that you can find more gratitude whenever you're feeling well of those moments, so that hopefully you can stay in that space and not get sick again. Well, I know everyone will get sick again eventually, but stay healthier longer. I'm grateful I'm work at the time of the day of complete dysfunction. I'm grateful I teach my children and not some loony in public state-run schools. I'm grateful that you have that opportunity and that you are willing to do so. I have realized as Azalea gets older, we've always known that we probably weren't going to homeschool. I'm not sure how I feel about public school. I'm grateful for the school that Azalea is in right now. It's definitely in an alignment with what I believe is a good kind of like learning community, and the teachers, I feel like, have a similar mindset and outlook of life, and I'm grateful for that. I'm not sure I can feel right now as grateful about her future school, but I'm also working through those kind of emotional feelings because I'm comparing my schooling to what I'm able to offer Azalea. And so I'm trying to find more gratitude in what we can offer Azalea versus what I was offered, and trying not to compare that to what we have now. So yeah, thank you for sharing that about gratitude and the schooling. Really appreciate you being honest about the lows. Grateful for my twin sister and the fun we used to have doing make believe. Grace. Yeah, that's awesome. I always wanted a twin. I thought that would be fun. But then also, I feel like it would be weird to have someone who looks exactly like you if you're like an identical. But yeah, that's cool. There are times when I wish Azalea had that a companion to play with, but then I realize that I'm grateful that she has the opportunity to experience the life that we're giving her, and that it can't necessarily be what I envision in my head, because it has to be what it is for her now. And so I'm trying not to have regret or feelings of disappointment, but more gratitude that I get to be that twin sister and hang out with her and play with her. So yeah, I'm grateful. Do you have any advice for dealing with controlling energies? Honestly, like, I would say figuring out why you feel a need to be controlling, why you feel a need to, whatever it is that you're trying to control, what's causing the trigger for you to do that, is the question that I would ask you back. And once you know why you need to control it, you can kind of better understand ways to navigate that, and work through the process maybe backwards from there, I would say. It's kind of hard for me to answer that question, I guess, because it just depends like what you're controlling. If it's something more physical, tangible, or if it's an outcome, with like something that you're needing to be patient on. Sometimes like Justin right now is having this feeling of needing to control, knowing a decision without being patient for other people to come back with, you know, an answer or something that would affect the decision that he needs to make. So sometimes patience and acceptance of where you are before you can know what your controlling outcome would be is something that you might need to, I guess, analyze. Really grateful for where I am, stopping to smell the flowers, as they say, from the salvage family. It's a better alternative than choosing to feel stressed and overwhelmed, etc. I agree. I have been doing my very best to stop and smell the flowers, and Azalea has been teaching me and reminding me to do that very often. She's always picking flowers for me, and I love it so much. And it just means that I have to stop and smell the flowers, and it's important to do that. Heather, thinking of work as being in service to others helped me through stressful days. I think that's awesome. When you can reframe whatever it is that's bringing you anxiety and stress and making you feel like it's a grind and not good, and you kind of frame it in a different way in your mind and you see it from a different perspective, it allows you to have more gratitude for a deeper purpose of whatever it is that you're doing. So, yes, to clean water. Honestly, we're so grateful to have that. Like, even just having a supermarket, so grateful to have like so many produce things at the supermarket and tropical fruit, even though it doesn't taste as good as when it's like from the country, like right there and like off of a street vendor, like rambutans and oh my gosh, so many good things. But I'm grateful that we can even have access to that. There's so many places that don't, and it's a blessing that we live in a country that has that for us. Oh, sailing nomad, I'm grateful for me. Truly, your vlogs have been what I needed over the years, especially the tea times and sharing your personal achievements and struggles. Appreciate you, sailing nomad. It means a lot. I been trying to better deeply understand myself because I feel like there's a piece of me that wants to be at service more in this kind of way, but also like I am truly someone who creates and likes to heal through art and creating and working with my hands and being more crafty. So I've been really thinking a lot about how to kind of blend those two together. Yeah, I'm grateful to have you here. V says, I'm grateful for the days I'm vertigo free. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even imagine. I'm grateful for those days too. Justin's grandmother has vertigo from time to time, and I know that that's definitely a struggle. Grateful to be alive today, and I hope the world gets better. Me too. The last tepui. Grateful for me. Oh, you guys are sweet. I'm grateful for all of you. Everyone here who's tuning in. Great. I'm thankful that I have hands to wash the dishes. Me too. I think about that sometimes, like in my dog mindset that I have, like if anything were to happen to any of my limbs or like if I were to lose any of my senses, I try to really hone in on gratitude that I can go to festivals and listen to epic music, or that I can work with my hands and paint a bit with like both hands and be kind of ambidextrous. Like I'm grateful that I have that opportunity, that my body is so capable. Grateful for my silly pups. Me too. Odin's the best. I love him, even though he still needs to learn how to walk properly on a leash because he just still pulls like crazy, but he's getting there. He's definitely improved a lot. Podcast would be awesome, but zero chance for live connection. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about this live connection thing because I would love to get to know you more. And I've been thinking more about this membership space and how it could work. And, a monthly or like a monthly membership where we do lives more often, or more like with a focus on each person within the group. So like maybe it would be like a group for every quarter. So for 3 months, we would like work together to open up our hearts in a safe space and just share, touch base on things that might be bothering us, things that are struggles, and just learn from each other and create a more real virtual connection with each other, on like Zoom, I guess, is probably how it would go. But anyways, I've been thinking a lot about it, but I'm still not sure how it's going to go. Give for gab. There's always something to be grateful for, indeed. Am I still making my earrings with the leaves and hoops? And yes, gratefulness is something I'm working on as well. Can't we all be better at being grateful every day? The earrings with the hoops. So yeah, that was made to order, and I honestly got really overwhelmed with the amount of orders that came through and the timeline. I ran out of materials, had to order more things, and it ended up right at the end of my 3-week kind of like range of time that I set for myself to create the product. And it was just too much with the house, with Azalea, with all the other things that we are working through in life right now. The made to order became really intense and stressful. And so I took them down because I don't right now have the bandwidth to do made to order items. I'm not sure if that will come back or not, but who knows? I still have materials and things on my jewelry desk behind me that are waiting to be made. I just need a new hose for my torch because my torch broke. So that's also why it was stressing me out, because my torch broke right before I was getting into making all the orders. And then the handheld that I have, it doesn't get as hot. So it made it a bit stressful to know if I was going to be able to be as efficient with my time and if it was going to solder well enough and all that kind of stuff. But so unfortunately not for right now. I do have one pair that's brass. I don't have any of the silver ones for right now. I'm sitting on my front porch and doing the beautiful sunshine and drinking my coffee. Doing the beautiful sunshine. I needed to wash the dishes, but now I feel privileged to be able to do them. That's awesome. Yeah, I remember when I was backpacking through Venezuela, the village that we helped build furniture for in their little school room, they did their dishes in the laundry in the river. And so they had to put everything in a like wrap, like a fabric wrap, and they like put it over their shoulder, went down to the river and washed everything in the river. Um, that's a labor of love right there. Yeah, our bodies tell us, whoop, where did that go? Crazy how sometimes this is from Shannon. Tell us to, hey, slow down sometimes, and forces us to live slower, really drop into our bodies and take care of ourselves. I've really been honing into that. It might seem as though we've always lived this like slow life, but the reality is that it feels like we've been racing for a long time, and running the businesses that we run and having a kid, figuring out where we're going to travel to. It's just like too many moving parts in life. And yeah, so we've really been slowing down and just tuning into the moment, and it feels really good. Sundance Wellness. We live in the mountains amidst the forest and just got back from a beautiful Asheville. I love Asheville. We got married up there in like Girton area. Going to a workshop with Joe Hollins at Mountain Gardens, learning about Yahweh's healing herbs. So you're grateful. That's awesome. I'm going to make a note of Mountain Gardens. I'm thinking to take the herbal perfume workshop to a lot of different places locally. And then I've also been thinking to go to a slightly more corporate route, because I know a lot of people who have corporate jobs work for companies that have more awareness of a need for healthier work environment and a more balanced sense of self-care and not overworking their employees. So I've been thinking about taking the workshop to be more corporate for more retreat experiences, which feels really good. So yeah, I'll add mountain gardens to my notes, and thank you for sharing. It sounds like a really beautiful, really beautiful life that you're living. Becky, I'm grateful for my tea times when I started washing them. Gosh, I feel like my typing is always a mess. I'm glad I'm not the only one. When I started washing them, I was in a downtime and they helped me to see through some things. At the moment, I'm posting some flowers and seed setting. That's beautiful. Yeah, I just felt like I was getting to a place with the YouTube that was just like, I don't want to just vlog every day. I want to share something that's more wholesome. Yeah. Annabelle, others controlling, like others trying to control you. So your question to earlier, how to deal with energies of others controlling you. Nobody controls you except you. You just have to ignore the thoughts of other people trying to control you. You have choice. You can, even in a union of partnership like with me and Justin, I still have choice and he still has choice, and no one can change that or should feel that they can, because you have control. And yeah, I hope that kind of maybe answers your question. Grateful that my family and I are healthy. Health is wealth. Yeah, I've been watching a TV show on Netflix called My Rich Life. And it's about this guy who helps people manage their money. And it's really insightful because it talks a lot about the psychology of money and finances and stuff. And when I think about a rich life, my mindset, initially, the term rich and wealth, it just makes you think of money. But to me, success is not that. And I try not to define it by that anymore, because I see that the health and wealth is really the priority. And wealth in the richness of my life now is family moments and just being present, being grateful, and the joy of living. I'm grateful for the magical technology that makes it possible that we can connect in real time from wherever we are. From Ellen. Yeah, this is crazy. It's kind of nuts. I really do want it to be more of like a Zoom thing, because it would be cool to be able to hear from you in a more real way. But this is good. This is pretty awesome. I'm grateful to have the mobility to be able to travel, although I get jealous of the trees sometimes. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I've thought about that too. Trees are kind of wild. Like, they stay in one place for so long. They see so much life and they don't ever complain. They're just always shedding the old and growing new and just living life. Like, it's so simple. We can learn a lot from the trees. I'm grateful to travel too, though. It's very expensive right now, which has been hard to kind of like wrap my head around, but I'm grateful that the opportunity is even there. Whoa. Tonya, it's funny how applicable your videos seem to chapters in my own story. Thanks for being genuinely you. It's pretty wild. I feel like we're all connected. I mean, inevitable that we're all experiencing certain things in life. And we're all one. Grateful for myself and the chance I give to me to realize the life I want. That's awesome. Speed living ain't for everyone. Yeah. I feel like social media and just, the grind, the culture that we live in, if you're based at least here in the States, is very much a go kind of culture. And I'm not about that life anymore. We've worked hard to get to where we are, and it's okay to slow down. It's okay to stop. We deserve rest, and it's important to acknowledge that when we need it and take it. Going through the biggest shift in my life ever and feel like the universe has been testing me, trying to embrace the change and allow her to show me what's for me and what isn't. Me too. Me too. Oh, and you and your beautiful family have been one of the best and biggest sources of inspiration to me to embrace this slow, conscious, and love focused living. Love that. Gift for Gab. Odin doesn't like the leash. He hates it. He does just want to run free for sure. I'm grateful for when I can walk him off the leash because he's the happiest dog ever. Thanks so much for taking the time to answer your question. You're welcome. In the garden, planting flowers. Enjoy. Cantaloupe. All right, these are the last few, and then I'm gonna hit the road, you guys. I gotta edit some videos and stuff. But I'm glad that we've taken the time to dive into this topic because it's really important to embrace it every day. But okay, you're wondering, Sailing Nomad, how the garden is doing. It's doing good. It's growing. We put some seeds, direct sowed some seeds in the ground. Hopefully they'll be blooming this summer. Very excited to see the garden at the end of the season, and then also like even better early spring next year because it's going to be epic. Thankful I can lift my hands in Heavenly Father and thank Him for everything He's done for me. How do we budget for travel? Like, do you have a few months of savings reserved, or do we just make money as you go? Is there like a certain limit you like in your account? Money chat. This is like a whole thing. Justin manages the money, the finances, for our personal finances, for our YouTube business, and then also for his beekeeping business. He's the money guru. How do we budget for travel? Right now, we don't. We've been dumping so much money into the house that we I guess yesterday realized that maybe if we slow down, that actually instead of putting so much money into the house so quickly, we could balance a little bit into the house and then the rest would be for travel. We have a certain amount that we set aside for Azalea's investment account for when she's going to college, if she chooses to do that. We started that when she was just a baby, and we put money in it every month. We have life insurance in case anything comes up. We also put aside money for other investments in a Roth account and another mutual fund account, which is more like our house fund account. So we're always investing and saving a portion of our money because that's really important to just like not spend it all, but save it. As far as like budgeting money specifically for our travel adventures, like we definitely make it a priority to set money aside to do things for weekends. Like we have a play bucket where we have money for going out with the bus or going to the local festival that we're going to in a couple of weeks, Shikori Hills. We have just set aside little bits of saving each month within the budget, and that's kind of what we use for traveling. When it comes to bigger flights, like going to visit my family overseas, it's hard because Azalea now has to be on her own seat. We have to pay for that, and flights are very expensive. We just try and save as much as possible in a saving account. And then we just pre-budget for the year, like always, that we would need to have a certain amount allocated for flights, like for the holidays or whatever. So it's definitely something. If travel is important to you, then add that into your monthly budget and set that money aside so that when you're ready to choose where you want to go, you can buy a ticket with the money that you have saved for travel. Whatever you choose to have as a priority in your life is something that you can, spend your money on if you choose to, but you have to prioritize it. So if that is important, then set money aside so that you can be more prepared. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. There's a lot that we could tap into as far as like money goes, but that's like a whole nother video. Okay, last question, and then I'm gonna just dip out. I'm also hungry. Anxiety. How do I get rid of anxiety? I think that there's no getting rid of anxiety, but more learning how to cope with it, and accepting that you could feel this way or you could choose to feel a different way. I'm no guru. My brother struggles with social anxiety this year and a little bit last year. I've struggled with anxiety mostly over financial worries, and like career, I guess, like my purpose. I'm choosing to focus less on those things and focus more on other things that do bring me joy. I've been doing yoga, breath work. I think exercise is going to be huge, just to kind of like release all that kind of just energy that you can carry. And I feel like anxiety is almost like when you drink so much coffee, you're so frantic. I feel like anxiety can be like when you are overwhelmed and overthinking and holding on to too much, or like over analyzing something that at the end of the day doesn't need to be dissected to such depths, that maybe it's something that needs to be set to the side and come back to and reevaluate like why you're struggling to just keep it simple, or why you need to go so deep into that thought, and giving yourself the time that you need to heal, to slow down, to stop and just not feel the overwhelm that you feel. And if it's like work related, that what is the worst that could happen? um, I guess the worst that would happen if you were working for someone else is that you would get fired. But who's to say there's not thousands, if not millions, of other job opportunities already out there? So like you could lose your job and get a new one that would be even better. Like if it's the fear of that, then is it really worth worrying over? So yeah, I think it just depends what you're anxious about and how you can choose to redirect your thought, and how you can release that anxiety instead of holding on to it, and accept that it's something that you struggle with and that you have, and like learn tidbits of how you can cope better when you feel like that rush of anxiousness coming over you again. Like what helps you to calm down and tune into that like immediately once you feel that you're getting anxious about something. Okay, there's one more that I want to answer, and then I'm going to go. Tips on how to manage mental health while being able to study. Gosh, I haven't studied in so long, but I think it's important to take breaks. I think it's important, if you're not in a space where you're absorbing anything, obviously there's no point in studying because you're not taking it in. You're too overwhelmed with whatever it is that you have in your mind. And so taking breaks is important. Making sure that you're in the mood and excited, and remembering why you're choosing to study whatever it is that you're studying. And just be excited, and don't feel as though studying is like a burden, because it's more, you're gaining knowledge. It's an experience that you're going through. It's the wealth of understanding more in life, something that will maybe in turn you'll be able to give back to others in the future, through the knowledge that you have. And so, yeah, I think not forgetting to prioritize yourself and your mental wellness, whatever brings you joy, whatever keeps you in a good headspace, are things that you need to be doing while in tandem of studying, but like not necessarily right at the same time, but like, you take a break from the studying and do the things that are going to help you to feel better. I know that I get really stressed out. Like if I go back to my finals and like creating the collection, I was overeating and really stressed out. I was just like isolating, and it just was doing all the things I shouldn't have been doing, knowing full well of the things that I needed to be doing for myself. So like if you know yourself well enough to know that you shouldn't be doing these things because they're not going to help you feel good, then focus on the things that are going to make you feel good. When you do feel your best, what are these things and how can they encourage you to find more focus and clarity in the day to sit down and absorb new knowledge? So yeah. Yes. Is that power cables behind you? Oh yeah, it's my jewelry thing. It's my jewelry desk. So it's like a Dremel. And then my mannequin. I forget what I called her back in the day, like Teresa or something. She had a name. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And sorry for those of you that just arrived. If you want, you can watch back from the beginning when I chat more about gratitude and really dive into the things that I'm grateful for and share the things that you guys are all grateful for. I appreciate you hopping on here, listening to me just blab on and on. And yeah, I hope to reconnect again next month. I'm thinking intuitive eating is going to be the vibe of what I want to talk about. And the struggles that I've had with my eating disorders in the past and how I've kind of come to a place of peace and just gratitude for having a healthier relationship with food. Anyways, love you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will catch you next week for a video. I'll tell you what the video is going to be. The video, actually, there's not going to be a video next week. Sorry, leave you hanging. But the video after that is going to be a bit of house reno progress. So stay tuned, and I will see you guys in a couple of weeks. So long.